JD, I know this isn't an easy topic for you because, you're actually one of the subjects of this article. You've been on the receiving end of this, but if you look at the collateral damage of the Mueller investigation, we're not talking about the people who committed crimes. We're not talking about the people who were indicted. We're not talking about the people who were convicted or even the ones who pled guilty. Just people who were targeted, interviewed, and then discarded when nothing was found. The repercussions of this have been just terrible.
Liz, there's so much collateral damage from Trump Russia. It's horrible. People like Michael Caputo and Carter Page, people like me, our lives have been turned upside down really over the past few years. I've also had stalkers, death threats too. I've turned over the worst 4 people over to the FBI for cyber stalking, online harassment, defamation, to their cyber crimes unit. And so the worst 4 I've taken care of, and they haven't bothered me recently, but this is just horrible. It just shows the toxic political climate that we're facing in Washington, D.C., fanned by the left-wing media.
Right, because the whole thing is built on lies. The whole thing is a political hit job. JD, my heart goes out to you and to your family too. I mean, it's one thing to deal with that kind of violence or threats or harassment or stalking yourself, but to see it impact your family, I know from personal experience, is really dreadful and really painful. And you hear nothing from the left. You hear no condemnation. In fact, you hear the left accusing President Trump and Republicans of inciting violence. And you hear the mainstream media echo that narrative, yet it's the media, the mainstream media, who refuses to report on this actual violence waged by the left against people like you or Carter Page or Michael Caputo and others. It's not just 2 or 3 of you.
It's not just 2 or 3 of us. About 50 Trump associates have been brought before the special counsel and various congressional committees. I've testified before 3 congressional committees and the special counsel multiple times. And there are threats still to bring people before Congress. And there's so much defamation already out there from left-wing media, from the progressives. Liz, people have killed themselves in Washington over this before.
Yeah, it's just absolutely horrible. I want to read from this Washington Times piece. This was a quote from the piece about what Michael Caputo has suffered. The article reads, "One person vowed to burn his house to the ground while his children were inside. Another said," and this one's a quote, "When someone puts a bullet in your head, I will do something indecent on your head." Another Twitter user told Michael Caputo, "Me running into you and smashing your expletive head open is optimal, but you going broke will do." This is what the left wants. I mean, I challenge, JD, and I hope you join me in this, I challenge anybody outside of the swamp, meaning I have no expectations of decency from Democratic elected officials, but I challenge Democratic voters in mainstream America to look at the consequences of perpetuating a false narrative. You don't have to like President Trump, people on the left, if you don't want to, but you should look at what your actions and what your lies, which were intended to take down President Trump, how they have ruined the lives of others as well. And I challenge you, to look JD in the eye and to look Michael Caputo in the eye and look Carter Page in the eye and tell me whether that's worth it for your political gain. Because I don't believe any decent person can look at that and actually stand by it.